Heya Cryptozens, tonight's show. Interview with Avarik Saga co-founder Sean Kim, and we're going to continue on with Crypto Job Watch. It's 10 p.m. Pacific. The date is June 24th, 2022. Welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nicodemus, and I'll be your host. The cover model, mascot, and co-host for this podcast is Tex. Together, we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space and the industry that surrounds it. So take a minute, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast now, because we're here at 10 p.m. each and every night so that when you leave in the morning, you're taking with you the crypto news analysis that you need to start your day. Keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. Now, since we have a guest today, I'm going to go ahead and take care of some business now. As we like to do on this show, let's take a look at the numbers. At the time of writing, the global crypto market cap is $948.38 billion. It's up 5.31% in 24. The top five cryptos by market cap are Bitcoin up 3.94%, Ethereum up 10.95%, Tether, USDC, and Binance Coin up 6.02%. The global NFT market cap is up over $10.24 billion. Sales volume is down 2.5% in 24 hours. According to CoinMarketCap, the top five NFT collections by sales volume are Bored Apes, followed by Mutant Apes, CryptoPunks, Moonbirds, and Goblin Town. Now keep in mind, some of these collections have very volatile prices, so do your own research. And now, our interview with Sean Kim. Hiya, folks. I have Sean Kim from Avarik Saga on the line. He's agreed to call in and talk to us about their new NFT game coming out. Avarik Saga is a blockchain-based game. Now, from its website, it says, quote, Avarik Saga is a metaverse where blockchain-based RPG converges with art to present an open-world community. Uncover endless possibilities as you journey through this war-ridden realm featuring 8,888 generative personas, over 400 plus hand-drawn attributes of loyal knights, crafty archers, and arcane wizards from 4 distinctive factions. So, Sean, tell us about that game.
It's a pleasure to be here, and I appreciate a short, brief introduction about Avarik Saga. Hi, guys. I'm Sean, and I'm the co-founder and CMO of Avarik Saga. And just to simply put, we're trying to build a Japanese RPG game for Web3. I think that based as a gamer, there's not just a lot of very strong attributes of a good game in the Web3, and good games don't really define a change terminology based on whether it's from Web2 or Web3. A good game is a good game, and that expectation doesn't change. And the paradigm shift we believe is that obviously a lot of people talk about ownership, but there's also in the RPG game factor, people play it because you have a lot to control, right? You need to think about your armors and weapons. You need to think about like how strategic you want to play the game, resource management, but also in Web3 in the JRPG space, you have economic resource management as well, because there's real money involved. And I think that also deepens the gameplay itself. So we thought that if we're able to bring, I used to love Final Fantasy, so why can't we bring like the Genshin Impact or the Final Fantasy or the Vandal Hearts or the Legend of Zelda into the Web3? So we thought that, okay, the NFT was an initial start. We started back in last September, and we sold out. We raised around 2.6 million, and then thought, okay, this is cool, but we don't want to stay as just a PFP project. There's got to be more than we could just do with NFTs, and especially since we're all gamers, we thought that, okay, if we let's build a AAA game, but AAA games take time and a lot of capital. So we went to institutional investors to raise several million. We raised that successfully from pretty big, strong backers. And using that money, we increased our team to around 40 members, full-time employees, and 25 developers. And we've been just pushing on to get a MVP out by this year of September 2022. And And through this whole process, we were named the #1 rising startup in Southeast Asia, according to Tech in Asia. So that
Oh,
was
that's
very
awesome.
nice. And I think that we're just trying to build it off. We don't call ourselves more of an NFT game. We just call ourselves more as a game studio that's really trying to penetrate the Web3 market, especially in interesting times like now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, I understand, as you said, the game is not out now, but you do have a mini game. I saw that on the website. Can you tell me a bit about that one?
Got it. That's a great question. The mini game is two. There's two purposes for that. One is a little bit of utility for the audiences that's been chipping into our project, and second is for us to gather every single metadata that we can have on balancing the characters. If you understand the context for the people who might not know about NFTs, the people who invest in NFTs might be much more risk heavy compared to the original stockholders, and they sometimes they want something out fast, or utility that's pretty fast at coming through, or investment benefits that comes fast. And however, a game takes a very long time to build. If you look at any AAA games, it takes several years.
Yeah, 5 to 6 years.
Exactly. And we don't have we can't just say, hey guys, wait for a year or two and
Yeah.
we'll give you a game. So
We're doing
all
good
right,
stuff
so
with your money. We'll see you in 5 years.
exactly. And I
Yeah.
think no one's gonna be happy about that. So we had a small team. We bootstrapped a very small 2D pixel auto battler mini game.
Yeah.
And at least it gives a sense of, oh, okay, they are building something. It's like a very small prototype. It's a very simple gameplay. You at least you'll be able to use a sense of how you could play your characters. It could be either 3 versus 3 or 1 versus 1.
You get a sense for like the lore and the setting for the game through the things that are introduced. Yeah.
Correct. But inside, from the developer side, we're tricking them because we're trying to gather every single battle data. Usually there's around 5,000 seconds of sessions per season. Season runs for 1 round, 1 month, and we get around 8,000 battles per season. So there's a lot of metadata that we could actually gather so that we could optimize it when each of the characters are actually able to free roam 3D in our full game, so we don't make any character too overpowered.
Well, that it would give you also an idea of what your bandwidth is going to be like when you're trying to interact, on a larger scale.
Correct.
Awesome. So now Axie Infinity, we got to talk about them. They were a very successful game last year. Now they're kind of struggling. What's your take on that situation?
That's I get asked a lot about that question. I love the Sky Mavis team, right? They started this whole like we call them the father of play to earn in this internally. Now, to answer directly to your question, I mean they have so much money that they could afford to fail on some of the features. I'll be honest. They got a $150 million extra emergency fund from Binance just like very recently, right? And so they have a pretty hefty war chest. And I know that with Axie Origin, they're trying to go a little bit more into free to play. So they could build content, and they still have a lot of time. Nantic report, shout out to them. They made around a 70-page report about the current situation of Axie, and reading over that as well, like 82% drop in total value, like total cash reserve. Yes, that's happening with Axie. Since Axie's model was the tokenomics model was based on just single growth. If there's no growth, the whole cycle of there's going to be less players because token value starts going down for governance token starts going down. the player starts dropping a little, player starts dropping a little, SLP tokens go down, then SLP farmers go down, then yeah, so it's a vicious cycle, right?
Yeah, it's
And
like you show up to the club and there's nobody there, so you leave. Well, the next person shows up to the club and there's nobody there, so they leave.
And then the scholars leave. The scholars leave. Like it's a catalyst.
Yes.
However, I know that they're fixing those in an incremental process. And again, for other play to earn games, if you're just trying to follow what Axie did, that's like a big no because no games are like Axie. Axie started, they're like Bitcoin,
right?
And now obviously just like you have to build a layer 2 or layer 1, whatever you do, it has to be a different tokenomics model. For me to, again, going back to your question, Axie could do whatever they want at this point because they have a big war chest and they're expanding their content, expanding their team, and they know what they're doing. We are not Axie, right? The games, we could say that any games are not Axie. So you can't, you don't, as an indie game, we cannot survive.
You can't afford to fail.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I have an answer for you. Like, well, how do you think Axie will do? They'll do fine for now. I'll be honest. They can make at least they're making really good best case practices for us to at least understand. And yeah, that's a huge respect for the team because they were there for a long time, right? When no one knew, no one cared about how play to earn, like what's play to earn.
No one's going to pay to play the game.
Yeah,
no one's gonna
exactly.
Pay. Yeah.
So that's my take on Axie Infinity.
Now, your game has staking and some other GameFi elements. And I saw the tokenomics on there. I thought maybe the listeners would like to hear some of that. From your game, what sets yours apart from, let's say, Axie Infinity?
Got it. No, I could give a general overview as we are revamping our white paper, but we also use a double token model, but there's a catch there. Now, we have an in-game currency called Vortem. You could consider it as SLP, similar to Axie. However, there's multiple utilities, right? If it's a JRPG game, you could upgrade your skill points, upgrade your weapons, forge and craft your weapons and armor, upgrade your levels. And let's say that Nicodemus, you and I are like kills a Yeti drops a Yeti's ear. We could use that to forge like a Yeti's armor, or we could sell that Yeti's ear to the marketplace for someone who might needs it based on demand. And that's also a part where we use our in-game currency, just like similar to World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy. And the other side is the AVRK, which is our Avarik governance token. Very similar. It's number one. It's used as a transaction fee, where it's like tax, where you spend your in-game currency of Vortem, a little bit of part. You have to spend a little bit of AVRK that goes back to our treasury as a revenue model. And of course, it's a governance token. So it's as things get decentralized in the coming 3 to 4 years, you'll be able to vote based on how much AVRK tokens you have, which is capped at 500 million. Now, the catch is that our in-game currency Vortem is capped. We use a dynamic capping system, so it's not an inflationary token where you're printing out money out of thin air,
right.
And but it's dynamically capped, where let's say that if our in-game currency is pegged to let's say a total value of our NFT transactions, then if the total value of transactions go up, then there will be an automated capping system where it increases the number of Vortem that it can go up to. But if it goes down, go ahead.
In a way, it works kind of like the difficulty mechanism for Bitcoin does. For Bitcoin, the more miners you have on there, the higher the difficulty goes, which raises the amount of energy.
Correct.
You need. So this is kind of like that in a way. The more gamers that you have on, the more that goes up, right?
Correct. There will be. It's like a logarithmic curve, if that makes sense. Yeah. Now that's like one part as a general overview that I could provide here today. And second is you have to have fiscal policies involved. Sadly, we realized that looking over a lot of previous games that were out there, There's just not a lot of gamers, to be honest with you, in this current Web3 market. And there's a lot of token speculators and NFT speculators, and that's fine. That's what we're dealing with, right? And because we're so early, so you have a very small pool. Now, those small pool of people sometimes don't want to play the game. They just want to try looking at how the tokenomics work and maybe manipulate it. And there's a lot of reasons for us to prevent that from happening. And we can't allow that without any like strong fiscal policies that are involved. So, if you look at some currencies, I guess, that are currently live in the markets, you're able to, let's say, tax policies where it's very difficult to actually take out your in-game currency with a high amount of tax if you want to take it out of, let's say, Uniswap, and also vice versa, where, let's say, Nicodemus, you want to buy a humongous chunk of Vortem tokens so that you could become a very strong player in the game. That's also going to cost you a high tax. The reason is that we're trying to encourage the players to earn Vortem through the game, not just buying your way out or even selling your way out. I think so. That's one policies. There's also financial instruments that you can make it involved, such as developing a loan contract where you have a collateralized product. For example, you have like wrapped ETH that's wrapped ETH to Vortem, and vice versa. So you could actually borrow Vortem tokens using your wrapped ETH reserve that you have, and then let's say the market tanks and the Vortem tanks, then you could actually sell off your loan back by your Vortem tokens, which to get your wrapped ETH back, which is also pretty good because the macroeconomically it's cheaper for you, and that could also raise back a little bit of stability on the in-game currency. But those are some things that we are looking forward to. I think that's $1 billion question of solving the tokenomics model,
isn't it?
It's an interesting topic. I think this could go over like an hour or two just by talking about this, because everyone's trying to get there, but will everyone get there, right?
And what does even there look like?
Exactly, where it's fair, it's healthy, it's sustainable, it's scalable. There's security involved,
and it's organic.
It has to be organic, correct?
So
but yeah, that's
talked about
your.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we talked about your tokenomics, we talked about your GameFi, we talked about your competition, but we haven't talked about one of the most important parts of a game like this, and especially when it's connected to a profile collection like yours is. Tell us about the art. What does the art look like?
The art itself, we have Joel. Joel is a major conceptual artist. He's been developing game art for quite a long time, and we have to be honest. We got very, very inspired from Square Enix, with the developer of Final Fantasy, and especially people ask. We're a major fandom of Final Fantasy, so they ask like which series, and we start with the Final Fantasy Tactics and Final Fantasy 7. And 7, they just made a remake, so we're very happy. I'm not really happy with the game style, the system design of it, but it's too simple. But they have a good game, and that's the basic concept we got the art from. Now, for the full game, we're developing it into a 3D model, but you have a 2D graphic wrapped into the 3D model. So kind of there's like Ni no Kuniya and Genshin is kind of or even Naruto versus Naruto, like those are or even Street Fighter that comes out this year for Capcom. Those are kind of the graphic styles that we have, and we thought that there's a very slight subtleness between people demanding 3D and 2D, and we just really want to build something sustainable and scalable. So that's kind of the art style that we're really going with, and it's quite new. You don't really see it in the Web3 space. It's either you go 2D or you go 3D, but you never see a 3D game yet because everyone's still developing it. So it's something that, in the current market, something that's unique. And yeah, we really want to provide that Japanese style game. And it's been, there's a lot of people waiting for us for a year. So we want to have that out.
That's outstanding. Sean, I want to thank you so much for calling in and talking to us today. You are welcome to come back and give us an update anytime. When can we start to exploring your vision? I think you said September, right?
Correct. September is the date. So we only have around less than 3 months left. That's less than 10 sprints. Yep.
And the website?
Well, the website is live for right now. We're
What's
waiting
the web
for
address?
It's www.avarik.saga.com. And for more information, you could also enjoy Twitter/Avarik Saga or discord.gg/Avarik Saga.
All right. Thanks again, Sean. Goodbye. And we're back. I'm going to continue my new segment tonight called Crypto Job Watch. Again, I'm not endorsing a job. I'm not endorsing a company. I'm just offering maybe a little help for someone who might need it. So this company is Heya Finance, and they're looking for a crypto researcher, full-time remote position. Heya Finance describes itself as, quote, Heya Finance is a multi-chain venture capital investor, incubator, and accelerator that strives to elevate early-stage crypto projects across all verticals, including GameFi, Metaverse, NFT, DeFi, and infrastructure. We support projects in various capacities through every stage of their life cycle. Now, about the position, you're going to be looking for early-stage investments in emergent companies and protocols. You work with a team on the due diligence of prospective investments by carrying out research on blockchain projects, including tokenomics, market, and competitor analysis. If you have a degree in a technical area, that's preferred, or if you have technical experience in math, engineering, or computer science, something like that. Beyond that, familiarity with Monday.com or some other business intelligence is preferred. They didn't list a salary, but Indeed.com has this job with an estimated $56,000 to $71,000 per year, and you can apply right from Indeed. Again, the name of the company is Heya Finance, and they're looking for a crypto researcher. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I'll stop talking. You stay safe out there. Watch out for yourselves, but watch out for each other too. We'll see you tomorrow night.